One.
Welcome everybody to House Club Live, the show where every week we listen to the newest house hits, talk with some of your favorite artists from all around the world, and most importantly, just get together with our fellow house fans. This week, we're really excited to be joined by Zimmer, who's a really talented musician and somebody I was really honored to have remix one of my own tunes. We'll bring him on in just a minute, but first let's catch up with our co-hosts. We've got, of course, Vin Damato and Nick Timko. Vin, how you been, man? What's up?
I'm doing good. We were just talking about, we can hear the chimes in the background. We believe you are somewhere in Arizona. Is that correct?
That's right. Yes. For people who are listening later on podcasts, I am sitting in Arizona in a backyard, and it's really nice. So I apologize. Those wind chimes are both beautiful, and also they're going to be a little interruptive. Maybe I should take those down.
It sounds nice. It's pretty comforting.
It's like the perfect Sunday vibe.
Yeah,
that's true. Right? That's true. It's really adding a nice ambiance. I think I'm going to have to get some wind chimes and just have Tasha ring them when we're in the room normally. You know, Nick, where are you from? Where are you in? Are you in Miami right now?
I'm in Miami. Last night was the first night. Well, the first Saturday night since nightclubs officially were opened full bore, like 100%. Like
oh
I'm not like you guys all have shocked looks on your faces. Like go to some of the nightclub Instagram pages and look at what happened.
I went to a movie theater last night, so how about that?
Wow. Yeah. And hello.
Hello
to Seb in chat, by the way. Wherever you're watching from, let us know. I always like to see where people are tuning in. And something I should have mentioned at the beginning, by the way, is, of course, if you're new to the show, a big thing is we want you to interact with us if you'd like to, of course. You can sit back and listen otherwise, should you not want to. But feel free to send us questions, comments, and all those fun things. And Vin, you had a quick story that I thought was really funny. What was it that you were watching the other day?
Yeah, this is good. We were kind of talking about you being where you are and kind of asking if the wind was in the way. And I just wanted to bring attention to Nick. I don't know if you follow Barstool Sports, but one of the guys does the Foreplay podcast. He does he goes to a different golf course and he'll play like a different hole, and he's by himself. So I give him a lot of credit, but he's got like a drone. And he's got like the camera on the bottom, and he's got the shot tracker. It's probably a lot to do. So again, I give him a lot of credit for doing this. But every time he shows up and there's like wind in the background or something like that, all you hear is like, "Hey, we're at the beautiful Bandon Dunes 9th hole. We're par 4, 400 par." And then all the comments under the video are like, "Man, that was some excellent wind. That was a great video. A+. Would have watched again if I didn't. All I heard was wind." It's
really great commentary by the wind on that.
Yeah, exactly. So I if you're gonna have like these production setups, get a windscreen. Greg, Warner has one on his right now. It's not that hard.
This stinky little mic cost me a whopping $12 on Amazon.
Sounds pretty good.
Because I am
pretty good, my friend.
Working remote. Well, good. As long as it's working and as long as those wind chimes are creating a nice ambiance for viewers and listeners all around the world.
Warner. So, do the rest of your Sunday plans include hiking that beautiful mountain behind you? Well, at least in front of you?
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm a bit hungover, to be frank. So I think I'm going to probably lay pretty low. That's the thing is I'm visiting my dad, and every time he's like, it's me. He has great wine, so he brings out great wine. I'm not going to not drink it.
Sure.
And then he has great cigars, so I'm not gonna not smoke them.
Yeah, I like.
And then weed's legal, so I'm not gonna. It's like, yeah. And then I feel like I'm on vacation, so it just gets a little out of hand. But alas, I'm doing my best to stay awake. So if I at any point nod off, the
wind chimes will wake you up.
We'll ring the wind chimes.
Yeah, those put me right to bed. If I'm lying out next to the pool and all I hear is wind chimes, that's like basically putting me into.
Does he have a pool?
Hypnotic spell. He does have a pool.
Everyone in Arizona has pools.
Yeah, I guess you got it, right? It's too hot. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I will take lying next to a pool in the desert over next to on the beach. And clearly I'm hungover as fuck. I can't even speak. I would take lying down next to pool in the desert over being at the beach.
I think you're right. I think I feel the same.
Who needs
sand?
The same way.
Sand is for suckers.
It's less of a process. When you get older, you just hate the processes. So you just like, hey, I can go out back, I can sit there, drink my cocktail. It's a day.
I agree.
As much fun as it is to like get sand out of my boxers for like the next 10 days. Jesus. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
enough me bitching and moaning about the beautiful place I'm living in right now. No one feels bad for me, and no one should. Without further ado, we're going to bring in our guest this week. Like I said, very excited to have him. He's remixed one of my tracks in the past. He's played over 350 shows worldwide. He's been a star of the Roche Musique clan for a while, and we are very excited to have him. Please welcome to the show, Zimmer.
Woo!
Woo! All right. All right.
Guys.
So technically, Vin, did we successfully bring him on the show? Did we do it?
I think we did. Yeah.
We did. We did.
We are good to go.
Beautiful.
Zimmer, how are you, man? Where are you reporting from right now?
I'm in Paris, stuck in
Very
Paris.
cool.
We're technically not allowed to leave our homes more than 10 kilometers, so I'm in Paris.
Wow.
And then we're talking
wow.
about nightclubs and everything like that here.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, we're going to movies. We're in nightclubs. Yeah, sure.
I know. We'll
So
be there
I
in
mean,
a month.
yeah. What's the general mood like there? Because for a while the U.S. was number one in cases and deaths, and now somehow we're doing really well at the vaccinations. Is there kind of like just an existential holy shit, this is taking way too long in Paris, or what's the vibe like there?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's like, it was kind of really shitty and scary like 3 weeks ago. It's still pretty bad. Numbers are bad. It's like the third wave or whatever they want to call it. So yeah, it's kind of back to full lockdown. There's like nothing's going on. But yeah, vaccinations are slowly building. So hopefully in like a month and a half, we'll be able to do things. And maybe hopefully this summer there'll be a little bit more fun to be had.
Yeah, we hope so too. We hope so too.
Well, you mentioned that one of your favorite shows that you've ever played was at Elsewhere in New York, where both Vin and I
venue.
are from, although we're not there right now. Elsewhere is a great venue. What is it about? I mean, do you think that there's something? How do I put this? Those live shows, what is it that makes them so special to you? Is there one thing, or is it a kind of a culmination of everything together?
Like, are you talking about Elsewhere specifically? Or just like playing to
In general, I guess. Yeah, in general. I mean, I do love Elsewhere,
Yeah,
but in
I
general,
would also-
what is it that makes it a great show
I'd
for
also
you?
like to hear what you found special about New York, opposed to other places you've played. But
So yeah, for first question, I mean, it's like pretty obvious now that like the only shows I've been playing were like in front of a camera. Like the whole reason I make music is to play it to people and share something.
Right.
Like I get so like I'm not a studio nerd. It's like boring to me to go to the studio and make music. I make music to share good times with people because like it's fun to be at a festival. It's fun to get drunk with your friends under the sun. It's fun to like make things happen in your life that are out of the ordinary. That's why I make music. So, and it's like obviously it's like a sensation. It's like a cool bass line or a beautiful like melody going through your ears and your body. It like makes you feel something. But yeah, like people are everything. Like I miss touring like so bad, and like I'd rather not be able to make music in the studio and tour than the opposite. I know some musicians, like I know people around me who like it because they don't like playing shows so much and they get stressed and anxious and whatever. Like it's the opposite for me. Like I make music to connect with people, so
Sure.
those shows are everything.
Yeah,
And,
it's. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and it's like, and for instance, the thing I love about Elsewhere is like the shape of the rooftop. You're like kind of in the middle of the crowd. It's like kind of allowed to have your friends or like just random strangers like behind you. Like I don't care about being like on the big stage, like on top of, and like all by myself. That's like I've had that a few times, and it's like so boring. Like just you in front of a sea of people. It's not what I want. Like I want to be like inside the party, like sharing it with everyone. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons Elsewhere.
there's been a couple of
super
times that I've gotten in trouble for bringing people on stage when we probably shouldn't have. A couple of times, like security gave us the side eye and just started like throwing people off the stage. But yeah, I also prefer people to be as close as possible. So I'm with you. I'm with you.
As long as they behave and know like not to like put their drinks on the CD.
Well, it's always a hazard. It's always a hazard. So yeah.
We could do an entire show about those like boiler room fail videos, which are spectacular. Because dude, every time they show some DJ trying to like do a good job, obviously, and there's just some drunk asshole like slowly wavering their way closer to spilling a drink. Oh, that one is the best though, where the guy jumped up to try to like give somebody a high five. I don't know if you guys saw this, and then he pulls the
whole
entire
thing just comes down, and then they're just looking like. Oh my God! Yes.
So Zimmer, I totally agree. It's. I mean, I haven't been able to play like big festival stages yet in my career, and it's always like an exciting thing as a musician to like aspire to it, because in a way, it probably you feel like you're a big deal. Like, oh, look at me, I'm on this big stage. But if you're not near the people, I gotta imagine the energy is just like what does it feel like when you're up there on a big stage compared to being right up in there in the people?
I mean, it really all depends if you have like a few homies like right behind you. I played like the biggest show of my life not last year, but 2019 in Mexico. I played in front of 7,000 people in like a massive.
Holy shit!
It was honestly it was scary. It was like a sea of people. Like you could not see the end of it. But I had like two of my best friends and my girlfriend like right behind me, so I could just like look at them and like be like. There's a shit ton of people look at it. I had a friend who came like by my side, and he was like, "Oh shit, I don't want to look at this." Too many.
That's wild, man. Yeah, I anytime I talk to people, anytime I talk to people about the shows that I prefer, it's always like the best times I've ever had usually are just in a like. It doesn't have to be a small room, but if it's like 100, 200 people, and it's a sweaty little club, like those are always the most fun gigs I've ever had, because then you feel like you're connected to every single person there. I don't know. So now your album, which is also called Zimmer, you described it as what was it? Hold on, techno. I really loved it. Cosmic techno disco. Can you explain that to us?
I mean, it's always tricky to characterize your music, and I come from like a slow disco background, like chiller vibes, so however you want to call it. But I've been playing like late night shows for like 5 years. So at one point like you want to play techno, so at one point you want to make techno. So I don't know, it like it kind of, these are like the two opposites, and I try to bridge them. And so techno disco, why not? And cosmic, because I always try to like put some dreaminess in my music, and I think this whole escapism thing is kind of important in my music.
But when you like describe it as that though, that cosmic techno disco, and then you listen to the album, it really feels like that. It's a pretty good way to personify the music. So
yeah, no, I agree. And I you touched on something I think is really interesting. How much do you think your playing shows affects the music you make? Because I don't want to go away from your album yet, but I really enjoyed that you mentioned how when you play late night sets, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I want to make some techno now. Because if that's the vibe, then you get inspired by playing somebody else's great techno track at a late night show, and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I got to do this again. Do you see one influencing the other more often, or is it kind of a circuit, like a cycle rather?
No, I think it has a massive influence. It's like this is why my sound changed, and it like every move I made musically. Like, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. Like, I was
that's what we're here for.
Back in 2015, I had out two tracks that were quite successful. Out one called Escape, like my first EP on Roche, kind of like a poppier version of what I do today, but it was like borderline. It's like after like it had quite good commercial success, and after that it was kind of like I could like almost push for like radio disclosure-ish tracks. And I had another track called Saturday Love that was signed on Columbia. So same thing. I was like I was seeing two directions, like trying to go like radio hits or like stay in the underground. And I played a festival in Belgium with Feder and Kungs, like two massive like pop house guys. Like
yeah.
And Kungs was like on his way up. And same thing, 7,000 people hall, and I cleared it. I tried. like the most commercial tracks I had on my USB stick, and I cleared the crowd, like 10 people in front of me in a 7,000 people warehouse, and I was just laughing. I was like, okay, this is just not my scene. And like Feder comes up, he's like, what the fuck? There's nobody, and he starts playing like the big hits, and like everyone back, and I'm like, yeah, this is not why I got into music. I don't want to play commercial music. It's just not for me. So
yeah.
So I think in every direction, in every decision I make, like definitely the connection I see, because when you think about it, when you play live, you see people react real time to your music, and it's like the best feedback on your music compared to just like putting it online and seeing like stream numbers.
I don't think you can't call yourself a DJ unless you cleared a few rooms. So
yeah. Oh, Vin and I talk about this off air all the time. And for anybody who's watching who's a DJ, if you've played a lot of shows where you just totally bombed, that's good. You learn from that. You need to do it. You got to play a bunch of shows where you just do terribly, because then you think, oh shit, what was that? How do I improve on that?
The shows where everybody is there having like a great time and the vibe is right, like those are the easy ones. Like, you know, you got to sing for your supper, and the hard ones are the ones where the room is not easy and there might not be a lot of people there, or you clear the room and your initial like reaction into the vibe that you were going to play was wrong. Like those are the ones you learn. Those are the teachable moments. And you know, you don't really learn unless you screw up. So it's definitely got to clear a few rooms.
Yeah, especially if you get your start by DJing in particular. You know, like most people I know who are DJs and producers, or rather they produce dance music, so a lot of times that means that their performance is as a DJ. Most of the people I know started, you know, just DJing anywhere they could. So that usually meant you're playing at some shitty bars. You don't even have any music out yet. And so sometimes you're going to play like all pop stuff and you just feel like you kind of have to. And if you try too hard to like play only house or only techno, you know, they're not going to bring you back. You're not going to have any gigs. So when you're really starting out, it's a struggle because, you know, you're not like an artist yet. No one cares about you as a musician.
That's how you learn, though. Like I've seen some friends who are like strictly producers. It's usually the ones I was mentioning before. We're like happy we're not touring right now, but it's so much harder for them to adjust. Like if you've not played like I've played like birthdays, bar mitzvahs, like company parties, student parties, like literally everywhere. And that's how you learn. It's
So did you do a lot of those before your music took off? What was your career arc like, or what's it been like? Is that, I mean,
like I started DJing when I was 16, and I started making music when I was 21. So I had a good 5 years of like going through the motions of like all the type of parties I just mentioned, like kind of following where I was in my life of a student. And and I started making music literally when I realized I was not going to play like the cool Paris clubs unless I was making music. And then after making music, I realized I actually also really enjoyed it. But like, to be very honest, like the drive to make music at first was just to play shows.
What was your first setup?
That's so interesting.
Do you remember your first setup? What did you use?
To make music?
No, to DJ.
To DJ? Oh, I had the Hercules DJ Console 2, which was like the controller ever, like running with virtual DJ.
Okay.
And I've actually been a pretty big geek about DJ stuff. Actually, my first job ever was being a designer for Tractor.
Oh, no way.
So I've kind of like tried like everything on the market, and actually it was fun because it was like true innovation. It was like the first actual DJ controller you could like get for cheap at your house. Then I got a VCI 100.
Yeah.
Press 4. Then went into CDJs with Tractor Scratch Control with an X1.
So I'm curious. You know, Vin and I have talked about this a million times. I'm curious about what advice you would have for other people who are, you know, maybe they're not getting the gigs that they want yet. Maybe they're not growing to the point they'd be. You just said that, you know, you wanted to be playing bigger shows. And so that's funny enough why you started making music, which I think is the opposite of what a lot of people do. Is there something that you'd recommend that people, you know, even just practical advice? Like, is it helpful to have a few live sets to send around to bars and venues, kind of like as an example of what you can do. Is there something that you learned when you were cutting your teeth that helped you succeed?
I tried that, but did not work. No, I truly started working out when I made tracks, and I think it's all about, like, the one advice I would give is to try to see in which scene you would fit. Like, who are the artists you look up to? Who are the artists you want to hear play? What's the music you've been, like, listening to? And try to integrate into that scene. Try to go out in the clubs and meet the people. That's like how I met the Roche boys. I was like, oh, like, this Cartel kid, he's doing, like, really cool stuff. And, like, we eventually I ended up being in the same club as him and just, like, talking to him. And that's how you connect. I mean, it's all about connecting first with real people in the real world. That's how you get into a scene, and that's how you're going to get booked eventually.
That Roche music scene was so influential to me, and I'm sure Warner too. I think Darius, right, is involved there.
Yeah.
I think it was Hot Hands. I think I heard Hot Hands first, right? And I was like, oh my God. And then that was my first foray into the Roche guys and you know, your stuff and Cartel too, and just that whole squad. It was like, man, these guys are so cool and French. And I was like, man, you know what I mean? There's that, like, oh damn, they're French, you know, like I had that envy sort of that you're so cool. So yeah, I really appreciate that movement and kind of what you guys are doing and what you are doing, and it has definitely been influential. So I definitely appreciate you guys.
What do you think? Where do you think? What's the crew like now? You know, because I'm curious how everybody's music has evolved. Has everybody's music kind of evolved in a similar way, or have people kind of spread out?
Well, real quick before you answer that, Zimmer, like that time period you were talking about, Vin and Warner. When was that? Was that around like 2015-ish? Like when was that time period?
A little earlier than that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the first, my first shows at Zimmer are actually like 10 years old, like almost to this month. So it's like 10 years of Zimmer. Like the startup Roche was like 2013, I think.
Okay.
Like Hot Ends was released in 2013, I think.
Congratulations, by the way. 10 years coming up. That's great.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Thanks, guys. It doesn't feel like it, but yeah, it's been 10 years. Shoot, I forgot what. Like, oh yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I was curious about what people have been doing, and I mean, I know what they've been doing. I've been listening, but I guess for the listeners, I'm curious how it looks like from you as people have grown in their careers and what has happened then.
On this side note, the label just released a really cool documentary that's like an hour and 20 minutes long, like retraced, like the whole like it took like 5 years to shoot. It's like plenty of archives, like interviews of everyone, and like you guys should check it out. It's called Inside the Wave. YouTube.
And what is it called?
Inside the Wave.
Oh man, okay, we should post the link into that in chat or something for sure.
Yeah, I forgot to send you the links, but so the thing is, Roche really started as kind of a movement where everyone was making more or less the same music, at the same ingredients of. There was like a Roche sound where we all influenced each other. Right. And that's standard for, I guess, a good 3-4 years. And then it kind of felt like everyone moved into their own direction, like musically, like really explored what they were all about. Like Crayon went into like the weird hip hop stuff, like FKJ went even more like live instruments, like Double went techno, funk. I went like more techno, like. But it's like everyone still has those roots, and there's like a sense of emotion that's still there, even though today we're like all kind of making honestly pretty different styles of music. Sure. But it's the connection is still there. And I mean, we've all shared so many. We've played a lot of shows together abroad in like all different configurations, but we have a lot of memories together, and like people still associate us together. So. It's a bond that's here to stay, even though we're less linked than we once were.
That's amazing. Do you miss? I don't want to say the heyday, but you know, when it was really creating the most wave. Do you miss that time in the Roche Musique path?
Not really, because I've had enough emotions with like my switch to more of being a live act playing the album. It's just a new chapter and it's different. So I don't miss it because I mean now I miss any. It's different now.
Yeah, we all miss
Everything
it.
is
Yeah.
because it's been like 1 year without shows, but I don't miss it. It's like I don't want to live in the past. Like I feel fortunate that we got to live those moments, and I know whenever there's still opportunities like for Roche shows. We had Roche shows like scheduled, and there will be more Roche shows. So.
Oh yeah, no, it's well, you guys are all you made and continue to make phenomenal music, of which I am a huge fan. I know that I can say the same thing for Vin and for Nick. So it's exciting to see that crew, who are also talented in so many ways, grow in their own ways as well. Absolutely. And it's all still great. Yeah. It's a cool thing. So I'm really happy for you that you got to experience that and are continuing to experience that. That's a really special thing. I'm very grateful that like Vin and I, for example, are such good friends and we've gotten to make music together. That's been a fun ride to share those things. And obviously Nick and I have a lot of experience as well, since he was my agent for some time.
Zimmer
did a lot of
Zimmer Warner doesn't let me make music. I've tried, but
no.
He doesn't let me make music.
It's for the greater good. It's a social responsibility I put on my shoulders to make sure that you don't make any music.
By the way, I posted that documentary. So if anyone wants to check that out, I posted the link in the chat.
Thank you, Nick.
Go ahead and click through on that, guys.
Thanks. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, Zimmer, because I had seen that through Instagram and when it was getting promoted, and it's one of those things where I was like, oh fuck, I have to go watch that, and I just didn't for no good reason. So I need to go do it. Well, Zimmer, thank you so much for. Perfect. I mean, I've got plenty of time today since after this, I'm just going to like sit back and nurse my hangover. So I think I'll watch that. We are going to move on to the listening portion of the show. And Zimmer, if you're interested in sticking around, we'd love to have you. If you've got to bounce out, that's great too. But what we normally do during this point of the show is everybody at home watching or listening gets their headphones or their own speakers ready. And Nick will post a song in chat, and then we'll all listen to it for a minute and a half. And then we'll come back in and discuss a song. We would stream the songs over air, but then YouTube would probably take us down. It would be a whole snafu. So everybody just listens to it on their own. So Zimmer, do you think you would be able to stick around or not?
Of course.
Perfect.
Cool. Great. Awesome. Well, at least to more formally conclude the interview, thank you so much for joining us. It was really lovely talking to you, and I look forward to being able to see you in person in France or the States or elsewhere, maybe in Mexico in front of 7,000 people instead of 10.
And this was too short. This was too short. We got to have him on here again and do more of this, because I feel like there's so much more depth to everything that Zimmer has going on. So
we'll do round two. Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, so let's get that first song posted in chat. Nick is going to post the link. Everybody at home, you get yourselves ready to listen with your own headphones or speakers, whatever it is. So this song is going to be You've Done Enough, which is the Tom and Collins remix, the song originally by Gorgon City and Drama, which is cool to see. Drama, I've been a fan of them for a few years, and
yeah, Drama's cool.
They've really had a big growth in the last few years, which I'm happy to see. This song, we're actually going to start the playback at 1 minute 32 seconds, not at the beginning, just because of how it's structured.
No, let me correct you there. It should be good for everyone. Just the SoundCloud is going to jump in at 1 minute 32 because it was an extended mix that they posted there. So
on SoundCloud. Okay, pardon. Yeah. I appreciate the clarification. So if everybody just clicks on their preferred link, and then in a few seconds we'll start listening, and then we'll talk about it after.
Wait a second. So for Spotify users, we're starting from the beginning?
Yep, start from scratch.
That's right.
Everywhere
Spotify
else.
and Apple Music start from scratch.
Cool. Yep.
All right, so we're going to start playback. And again, reminder, 1 minute and 30 seconds, and then we'll cut. So start playback in 3, 2, 1. All right, we are back. That was fun. I expected those pianos to hit a lot harder, and I'm kind of glad that they didn't. It was a nice vibe. That's man, it's so hard to listen to all this music and not just be like, I want to go. I expected those pianos to hit a lot harder, and I'm kind of glad that they didn't. Vin, are you? It was
Greg Warner.
Yes.
I think you're catching up. I think your internet's catching up with us a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now we're back.
Well, everybody at home, pardon those delays. What I was saying was it's so hard to listen to this music. And are you serious, Dad? My dad's blasting CCR right now. Great.
Hey, it's a Sunday hangout with everyone.
God.
Get him in here. New Music Sunday.
Dude,
No.
get your dad. Yo, get your dad in here, dude.
All right, fine. I'm going to text him right now. I'm live on the air. Oh my God. Can you guys hear that?
So slightly.
All right. He's like, all right, anyway, back to the show. Oh, good. He got my text. Great. As fun as that. Now, if you guys think I talk a lot, I bring him on air. He'll never stop. Anyway, back to the song. I was saying that it's tough to listen to all this. Every time I listen to like a new great song that I would love to play out live, I almost get sad because I'm just like, I want to be there again.
Yeah.
But I think the remix is good, and I think Drama did a really great job on that top line. If assuming they did write it, it sounds like they wrote it. What did you guys think?
I love the, off the rip, the M1 string machine right into the piano house. I mean, yeah, you can't go wrong, But just quickly on the dance music feel that I feel the same way. And I think that's so interesting because I think you're going to see this birth of like emo music. There's going to be a lot of emo stuff like coming out, like aside from dance music and house music, right? We're going to still see that, and everyone's going to be really amped and jazzed about like getting that out there and being out. But I think it's going to birth this like emo, like, you know what I mean? Like it's the equal and opposite reaction, right? Like, yes, we're like missing dance music being out. So like all this stuff is getting put out and like getting ready for us to be out in the clubs and out and stuff. But like at the same time, I think we're going to get like a ton of like just straight up like post pop punk emo, like late 90s stuff that's going to emerge again. But
yeah, I agree. Zimmer, what did you think of that track?
I got to listen to 5 seconds of it because it took me a while to like find the link. So not enough for feedback. The only thing I gotta say is it's funny because Tom and Collins were playing 2 slots before me on that same stage in Mexico.
Is that right?
And they're cool guys. Like they booked me in Mexico like in 2013 because they were promoters before. So I like the guys.
That's very cool. That's Dad, do you want to say hi? We talked about you on air because you were blasting CCR and that was hilarious.
No, thank you.
He says no. Well, you can see him in the. Okay, fine. Anyway, we tried. That's a cool story, Zimmer. Sorry, I didn't mean to totally segue. That's something I miss too about playing shows is just when you connect with people in person, especially as the artist or somebody in the music industry, when you're traveling around for that, and you're like, oh shit, hey, and you meet people that maybe you've never met before and you've only been on email with for weeks, sometimes years. But we're gonna move on to the next track so that we keep this thing moving. Trays 2. Track 2 is called Phase Me by our friend Michael Calfan featuring Richard Judge. So Nick has that up.
We've been playing a lot of Michael Calfan on the show.
Dude, he's been releasing a lot of tunes.
He's French,
yeah. Yes. Michael Calfan is French. Have you never met him? I mean, I'm pretty sure he's based in Paris.
No, I think to be honest, I think we're in slightly different scenes. But
yes, he's a really nice guy, though. I do recommend meeting him. All right, so Phase Me by Michael Calfan, and this is going to be featuring Richard Judge. So we're going to start playback in 3, 2, 1. All right, and we are back. That's the Michael Calfan for you right there.
Zimmer,
You-
Zimmer,
yeah,
do you want to
you
go
know what
first?
you're buying.
Zimmer, you want to go first, or?
Sure, it's great to see Piano House
Yeah.
come back. It's like it's always been. I mean, DM1 never gets old.
No,
so.
it's gonna be a mainstay. I have a feeling. Yeah, yeah. It's.
Yes.
Yo, can we should review one of the country tracks that's being played there.
Yeah, we should. If he keeps playing CCR so loudly, we're definitely gonna get taken down.
Yeah, we're gonna get DMCA'd for Luke Combs on House Club Live.
I love CCR, to be fair, but yeah, I was actually, Zimmer, I'm glad you said that because I agree. Piano House is, it holds a dear place in my heart because it's also incredibly foundational in house music. I think a lot of people don't know that's the case. If you listen to a lot of the tracks from the 80s and early 90s, that was what a lot of it was. A lot of Chicago house, if I remember in particular, was like very piano driven. The M1, like you're saying, is a huge part of it. So it's cool that I do think it's seeing a comeback. I've heard it a lot more recently.
I think it's kind of never left and it will never leave. It's like so fundamental. It's like the piano is like the guitar of synths. It's like the acoustic guitar of synths. It's like so it always works. Like every human like gets something out of piano. So
I think that when there's no, like, we had this, I'm gonna quote unquote here, future house, but like, this like there's nowhere to go anymore, right? Like you can't go any more into the future, right? So where do we come back to? You come back to the roots. We come back to the roots, and we use 909s and 808s and M1s and the TB3, the 303s. Like we're coming back to the roots here, and I think again, we're kind of exhausted of the future stuff, and we're bringing it back home a little bit. So.
Well,
don't tell that to Chami. He's gonna be pissed.
No, even him, dude. Even him. That the Lady Gaga song that he did or whatever with Ariana Grande. That was like super 90s, like,
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Two things before we move on to the next one. I think Zimmer's got the future laid out with it. We could call it like Cosmo.
Yeah,
cosmic piano house.
Yeah.
We could do something like that.
I need to make a cosmic piano house tune, man.
Yeah, there we go. Let's do that.
But you need to call it that because then you can at least you can very easily point to the fact that you coined the term.
You heard it here first. Yes.
Zimmer, just credit me in the credits.
I want to
ask you guys
though. The album cover.
I want to ask you guys though. You keep
that'll never sell. People will think it's like, people see it's because you're French, they'll think it's artistic inherently. They're like, oh wow, what a cool cover. Who is this very pasty white man, and why is he on the cover?
I can add like a cigarette to it to make it like very French or something.
Nick
like
looks
that
like he's
too.
been
like smoking it the wrong direction.
Yeah.
All right. So before we rip on Nick too hard, Nick, would you mind posting that next link into the?
Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just take down the stream.
I'm
kidding.
All right. So song 3 is called "Knock Me Out." It's Ferric Dawn and Guz or Goose or G-U-Z. I don't know if you're out there, Guz, Goose, G-U-Z. Let me know how to pronounce it. My apologies. Let's see. Is it in chat? It is in chat. All right. So if everybody follows their links and gets themselves ready, I'll count you down in a few seconds here. All right. So we're going to start playback in 3, 2, 1.
Man,
Okay, we are back.
I love a good
What's that?
disco. I can't, the filter house, that disco house stuff, man. I can't, that's a very left. I feel like Lefty would mess with that song. So yeah,
That sounded like Lefty. It sounded like Lefty, Armin van Helden,
yeah,
like the duck sauce that he did with A-Track.
exactly.
Yeah, that was super fun. Yep. I didn't expect that from Ferric Dawn. But either. I guess. Yeah, Nick, you're a big Ferric Dawn fan.
Well, no, actually, the first time I heard Ferric Dawn was from you in the Moves playlist, which I know all your fans know about. So that was my first exposure to him. But it was because it's on Club Sweat, it was very kind of Dom Dalla-ish, like that first song that I heard from him. So I didn't expect
it was more techie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I love it. Actually, Zimmer, I've got a question for you. What are your thoughts on like how much? I don't want to get like too deep into this, but how much? What is my dad doing?
Is he grilling? It sounds like he's cleaning a grill.
I think he's just moving gravel, just from one pile to another. Is he
shoveling gravel?
Yeah, I think he's also just like crinkling paper in front of the microphone. Anyway.
Hey, Greg, how's your life? Oh, is it going? Glad to hear it's going well.
How's it going? Yeah. Oh my God! Hey, that's the fun of live. Okay, back to what I was going to ask you, Zimmer.
You're welcome to join us any Sunday because this is how it goes every Sunday. It's just fun.
If you have any construction projects coming up next weekend, let us know.
Yeah, I'll film right next to it. I'm curious about what you think about like how much an artist, quote unquote, should quote stay within their lane. I know there's a lot of different opinions about it. Do you think that an artist should be, do you get bored if an artist is too predictable?
Yeah, definitely. If he makes the same music as been making 3 years before, it's no fun. There's no surprise. I think it's a fine lane that you need to like kind of keep it moving a little bit, not be too drastic. But like as an artist, it's so hard to like put it right because you're always scared you're gonna lose people. Like usually, like I've seen like to me, it's kind of cycles of 3 years or something. And it's like, how do you take people who like your stuff from like 3 years ago to the new stuff? It's always tricky, but I like personally as a listener, I'd rather like hear people do different things.
I agree. We could go into that.
It's like the blueprint also of like the biggest pop stars like David Bowie or Madonna. Like every album, it's like a new persona, a new sound.
Yeah, David Bowie's a crazy, incredible example of reinventing yourself, but also just never missing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we'll move on to song number 4, which is the final song for today's show. It is Force Majeure. Force Majeure. Yes, I didn't want to scare people. By Gaspard Auger and Justice.
Oh wow! Whoa!
Wow. Je peux pas français, mais juste un peu. Okay, so we're going to start at 32 seconds in, and this is thanks to Chronol on Instagram, which is at IMKRONOL. Thanks for submitting that. If you ever want to submit song suggestions that you want to hear on air, you can submit that at Instagram or on Instagram at House Club Live or on mine at Warner.case. My dad is shoveling gravel again, so let's get that song going soon. It is in chat. So.
By the way, gotta give a shout out to Chronol though. He's been tuning in and kind of staying. He has tabs on everything that's going on House Club Live wise. So thanks, man.
He makes some cool music too. So go check him out. All right, so we're gonna listen to Force Majeure.
Italian Chronol.
That's right. All right, so here we go. We're gonna start at 32 seconds in. So get your timers ready or your cue back. I don't know. Someone shut me up. 3, 2, 1, play.
I'm not sure if everybody was able to watch the Spotify Canvas, but Warner's dad actually made the special guest appearance. He's the guy in the back with the hammer just slamming on things for the video.
I have expect him to come over with a chainsaw. Like, is right now a bad time?
I don't know if you can see this. That's Warner's dad. He's just in the background, he's got something sawing. He's just hammering stuff. That's Warner's dad.
Oh man, I bet he's like, you didn't tell me you were doing a live show. I'm like, about 20 times yesterday.
It's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Zimmer, it's another example of French music doing a wonderful job in influencing house. What did you think of the track?
I really like it. To be honest, I'm a big Justice fan, and I think their last live show is like one of the best things I've ever seen in terms of, like, I saw it like 4 years ago at Coachella, and it was like amazing.
So good.
And I felt like I kind of heard that song before.
Yeah. It was Peak Justice.
I've heard this before. But it's a cool song. I think it's the only thing it's missing is like a choir vocal. But I think in the end, it's kind of cool to see like one of the iconic French duos like sticking together. Like they even posted the track on the Justice thing, and Gaspard responded in the comments of Instagram saying they're not going to split, because the Daft Punk thing was like pretty disappointing to me.
Of course, to us as well.
Like, I don't know if you guys want to get into that, but
we can get Daft Punk real quick. Yeah, sure.
I mean, to me, I felt like they let us down. Like, we needed the live show. Like, they could have been the first electronic artist, like French electronic artist, to headline Coachella if they wanted to. They could have like played a stadium tour in France, or like at least like, because there's this mystery and this, like, everyone's talking about those 2007 pyramid shows. Like, I was too young, I couldn't see it. Like, but I love Daft Punk, and I would have wanted to see one of their shows. And I think it's almost lazy in a way not to have offered this to their fans. It's a bit selfish.
I agree.
I agree because think about especially what they've done since Random Access Memories, which was 2013, which I can't believe was 7 years ago.
Song of the Summer.
Just think about how much they have done also even just since then. The phenomenal records they've put out and the amount of incredible production credits they've done, like with The Weeknd, and even if it's just Daft Punk stuff, or if it's just Daft Punk like as like co-producer, a stadium tour around the world for all their many, many millions of huge fans. I agree. I think I'm really bummed too. I couldn't go. I've never seen them live, and like they're such huge inspirations to me. So I get it. It's their life. They can do what they want, but at the same time, I don't know. Maybe they're just doing what they normally do. Part of me also thinks that they're just fucking with us, and they're going to come back with exactly what there's like out of nowhere. There's got to be a billboard in the middle of like the desert in Arizona, and then it's just going to announce like that's the only place that they announce like a worldwide tour or something. I don't know.
To be honest, I think they tried to top what they did before. They couldn't do it, and they're just like, we're not going to put out like a mediocre album, and we're going to like retire now as legends. And they're going to go their separate ways and like produce for other people on their separate ways. They don't like Thomas. He wants to be a director. He doesn't want to be a musician. If you listen to his interviews, like he's all about cinema. So he doesn't even.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's a bummer. But what that does mean, though, is that a large void in house music has been left for somebody to fill it. So
a very French void.
It's not going to be Nick.
It's going to be really good for Justice.
By the way,
it's not going to be Nick.
But by the way, I have not met a single person out there though, and I'll let everybody go because I know we're close on time, that doesn't like Daft Punk. I haven't met a single person that said that's bad, they suck, they should have did this or that. Like, always stellar things from those guys.
Usually a good sign. If someone ever said that, I'd be like, look, I'm sorry, but there's no chance we're going to be friends. Let's just cut it right now.
Divisive.
Well. On a happier note, one thing that I do see coming out of the pandemic, which I didn't expect at all, is that there's a lot of great music getting released. And that was really exciting. It's nice to know that, okay, once we're back, I've got a whole year's worth of like a backlog of records that I can't wait to play in front of more than just a camera. So hopefully that'll be very soon. But we need to wrap for the day. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and chiming in. And most importantly, of course, to Zimmer for joining us. Really great to have you on the show. Everybody go check out his music everywhere. Yeah. Yes, thank you very much. And definitely go check out his album, also called Zimmer. And maybe we'll hear some new music from him soon. Who knows? You should follow him on Spotify so that way, if he does release something, you'll hear about it. But in the meantime, my name is Warner Case on Instagram at warner.case.
And I am Vin Damato at I am Vin Damato.
And I am Nick Timko, not at I am Nick Timko, but actually at Typical Nicholas.
Thank you so much for tuning in. See you guys next week, 2 p.m. Eastern. And until then, stay safe and healthy.
Bye, guys. Have a great week.
Bye. Thanks for having me.